MTG Scoundrels, it's in the cardboard. Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Weekly. Today on the docket, we have ourselves some Eldrazi Tron versus Esper Goryos, and of course, my low voice. Getting things started off here with a polluted delta. That's going to get cracked. And we're going to go to 15 with a Thoughtseize. Few different options here. Deciding to take the payoff, taking the Emrakul the Promise End. There's the Watery Grave that was fetched. And there is a Tron land into an expedition map. Very normal start for an Eldrazi Tron deck. One that's been happening for a long time. Tron land expedition map. There is a Plains and Pass. Oh, going Eldrazi Temple. So no turn 3 Tron here. Faithful Mending getting cast on the end step. Gain 2 life, draw 2, discard 2. Discarding a Goryos and a Superior Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man seeing more play in these Esper Goryos lists. Expedition map getting cracked on the end step after the polluted delta was played. Finding an Urza's Tower. Trying to maximize mana. I think if you're the Eldrazi Tron deck, hitting turn 3 Tron in game 1 is a great way to try to get there. But even hitting it turn 4 or 5 can be the difference between winning and losing. There is a second Eldrazi Temple. Polluted Delta getting cracked. I'll bring us to 20 to 16. So clearly leaving up Kozilek's command here. There is a shadowy backstreet for a Surveil. Meticulous Archive, surveilling again. Passing from there. Two mana. There is a Chalice of the Void on 1 here. As we saw after the Thoughtseize, that was in fact in hand. So this makes Ephemerate much less of a card that can be used here to keep a creature on the battlefield after it being Goryosed. Here's a Psychic Frog. Passing from there. Psychic Frog, one of the most powerful 2-drops ever printed. Another Tron land, still no Tron in effect, though. That's 2 mines and a tower. Passing from there. Psychic Frog comes in attacking. Here's a K command X equals 2. Trying to exile the frog. I'm assuming... Okay. No discard to the frog here. That's a good sign for the Eldrazi Tron player. So made 2 dudes. Second main, here's a Philology Archaeologist. Getting back a Force of Negation. Also a Faithful Mending in the graveyard there too. There's Tron. Here's a Mind Stone. Into another Mind Stone and passing the turn. Here's a March of Otherworldly Light for 2 mana going after the Chalice of the Void. To get around it being countered. Three mana here. Flashing back a Faithful Mending. Gaining 2 life. There's the Atraxa, and the Psychic Frog is getting discarded here as well. Still plenty of mana up for the Eldrazi Tron player. The question being, is there a second blue spell in hand for the Goryos player here that wasn't that frog? We know about the Force of Negation. There's a land. Passing from there. The Eldrazi Tron player going to draw a card off a Mind Stone. With the other mana, do it again. Another Tron land. Oh, there's a Karn the Great Creator. It's going to get minused here. Finding a Tormod's Crypt. In response to the cast, Goryos Vengeance getting cast. Well, I think if you're the Eldrazi Tron player, no matter what, you're going to K-command here. Looks like X is going to equal 4. So no blue card in hand for the Esper Goryo's player to cast that Force of Negation. Looks like Superior Spider-Man, Atraxa, Faithful Mending, and Psychic Frog are going to be the targets, and then scrying and drawing. Whew, all lands on the top it looked like there. Drawing. And then casting a Sire of Seven Deaths. Marsh Flats getting cracked. Sire does a pretty great job of blocking an Atraxa. But the Goryos player would be happy to Solitude it any day of the week. Ward pays 7 life not mattering as much, considering the amount of life gain that's available if Atraxa attacks, or if Solitude attacks, or even Griselbrand. All those creatures having lifelink. Just playing land go here, one card being Force of Negation in hand. Counting the types in the yard, not that it matters. Looks like there was an Emrakul in hand. And showing the Emrakul. Goryos player scooping it up. Game 1. Going to Eldrazi Tron. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We appreciate all of you that have been watching and tuned into our last video, which was Trudge Rigging versus Boros Energy. Trudge Rigging being one of the big surprises in the format currently. That along with things such as Devoted Druid, which in fact has been a big player on the format scene right now, kind of taking over the Battlefield Cup mantle. And of course, if you haven't checked out that video, you can also check out our format overview that we put out about a month back of what you should play in Modern. Still has great information in there, and we will be putting out a new one after the RC season. Or if there's another big change with the format with ban and restricted announcements, as there is another Modern Pro Tour coming up fairly quickly. Moving on to sideboards. Eldrazi Tron. General rule, do not sideboard. Your sideboard consists mostly of just Karn tutor targets, so unless you're playing another copy of Dismember in there to try to hit early frogs, don't sideboard here. In terms of Esper Goryos, you're bringing in your consigned to memories. If you haven't already got a couple in the main board, you're bringing in the rest of them. But also, if you're playing a second copy of Teferi Time Raveler in the sideboard, you want to bring that in as well, because Eldrazi Tron's main point of interaction is Kozilek's command, and being able to stop them from playing at instant speed matters quite a bit. Moving on to our ads, definitely check out our friends over at Grove Warning Games, a wonderful place to store them out. Link to their store and card selection in the description below. They now have online card ordering and can ship Magic the Gathering singles to you. So definitely check that out. They have very reasonable rates. And of course, check out artist of our channel, Sean Gerard. Makes wonderful art, whether you're looking for something more in a professional setting or just a gift for a friend. Instagram's up on their screen. Email us in the description below. They are open to new projects. And last but not least, check out our socials. We are at MTG Scoundrels over on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as on moxfield.com, where you can find all our deck lists. So definitely check us out there, and in the comments below, let us know what decks you are excited to see and what decks you want to see on the channel. RC season is right here, right now, essentially, starting in September into early October for the Modern format. So let us know what you want to see. And with that, we move on to game number 2. All right, here we are in game number 2. Looks like Goryos taking a mulligan, going to 6. Polluted Delta Pass. Similar look to last game. Eldrazi Temple. Not a bad way to start. Delta getting cracked, finding a shadowy backstreak going to 19, and a Surveil incoming. Untapping and drawing. Watery Grave taking 2, going to 17. Into a Philology Archaeologist. Ooh, hitting double Griselbrand into the bin. Probably going to take that otherworldly gaze here. Looks like an expedition map was drawn by the Tron player. 2 mana into Mind Stone, into that expedition map. Passing the turn. A little bit of ramp here, but there is a certain amount of a door open. Ooh, hitting that prismatic ending on the map. And passing. Must not have a clear way of keeping the threat on the battlefield, but here is Thought-Knot Seer. That's going to get consigned to memoried. Otherworldly Gaze, Surveil 3. This is before Surveil was a keyword in the format. I think that's an Atraxa. No, that's a Faithful Mending hitting the bin with a Force of Negation. Drawing for turn. Polluted Delta. Goryos Vengeance is going to target Griselbrand. With this window wide open, it's going to attack for 7, gain 7 life. Raise the 13 to 24. And then immediately lose that 7 life to draw 7 cards. Now most people would be like, huh, this game might effectively be over. Considering how many cards the Goryos player is going to draw. However, there is a world where the Eldrazi Tron player can untap, hit the missing Tron piece, and be able to K-command the Griselbrand while exiling whatever threats are thrown into the bin here. Drawing another 7 cards, going to 10. Might just be trying to find a way to keep it on the battlefield. Oh, well. Polluted Delta is going to get cracked. Checking the hand first to make sure that they didn't draw all their fetchables. There is an island. So I assume we're going to see a consign to memory to counter the sacrifice trigger of Goryos Vengeance. Yes, indeed. Now the Goryos player deciding what cards to discard at the end of turn here and clean up. There's a world where the Eldrazi Tron deck, as much as it's really hedging with Chalices and Trinispheres on the main board, decides to go back to playing a couple Relics main with how prevalent the Esper Goryos lists are right now. Untapping, drawing. Goryos player, even if at 9, still at an incredibly strong position. Oh, does not hit the Tron land, but here's a Thought-Knots here. So now we get to see what the Esper Goryo's player kept. Alright, looks like Atraxa, Ephemerate, Force of Negation, Teferi, and Solitude. As well as a Superior... Well, I think I mentioned Superior Spider-Man, but... I mean, you could take the Superior Spider-Man here, but you almost want to take the Teferi so that way you can keep interacting at instant speed. Alright, taking the Superior Spider-Man. Just as the reanimation spell available. Cracking the Mind Stone instead of casting another Mind Stone. Griselbrand getting in for 7. That'll flip the life totals a little bit. Tron at 6, Goryos at 16. Playing a Breeding Pool untapped, that'll bring us to 6 to 14. And just saying go. Hitting another Eldrazi Temple. Well, here's a Sire of 7 Deaths. That has to be dealt with. Only 1 Plains. There is an Ephemerate in hand for the Goryos player. And speaking of, here is Solitude. Getting evoked. Gaining 4 life. Here's an Ephemerate. So effectively, at 17 to 3, but it doesn't feel like it's that in hand for the Eldrazi Tron player whatsoever. Untapping. Ephemerate's going to target Philology Archaeologist. Getting back a Thoughtseize. Attacking him for 10. Bring us to 7 to 13. Here's a Thoughtseize, bringing it to 7 to 11. Oh, just a Mind Stone in hand and 2 lands for the Eldrazi Tron player. And here's Teferi Time Raveler, so that is going to effectively turn off instant speed interaction. And off the top, oh, just another land, scooping them up. Game 2, going to Esper Goryos. Thank you again for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, and we will see you all in game number 3. Alright, players looking at their 7s, and Goryos is going to be on 6 once again. Tron on the play here. Here's Anugin's Labyrinth imprinting the Sire into Chalice of the Void on 1 on turn 1. Shadowy Backstreet and... Oh no, that is a tapped Godless Shrine, excuse me. 2 mana into Mindstone. Into Urza's Mine and pass. Taking 2 off a Hallowed Fountain, bringing us to 20 to 18. Into a Psychic Frog. Alright, turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer. We'll see what the play is for here from the Esper Goryo's player. There is a world where you just make this frog as big as possible. But we're going to see a Solitude going after the Thought-Knot Seer to exile it and draw a card. And then discarding the entire hand to the frog. So Thought-Knot Seer not going to get anything here. But now the Esper Goryo's player has one heck of a clock. Frog getting in for 5. That'll bring us to 19 to 18. Drawing another card. Second frog. Oh, it looks like there's a couple of expedition maps in hand for the Eldrazi Tron player. That is looking like the Chalice is hurting them more than it's hurting the Goryos player. And just passing. There is a Dismember in hand. We're going to go after taking ultimately 9 here to kill the other frog. Here's a Trinisphere. Not that it's going to matter much. Bidding at Goryos. Deciding against the land, attacking in with the Psychic Frog. That'll bring us to 5 to 17. Now playing the land and passing. Only 4 mana available for the Eldrazi Tron player. Oh, and here comes Teferi Time Raveler. Does Tron have an answer on the stack? showing there's no answer. And that'll do it. Game, set, match. Going to Esper Goryo. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, and we will see you all next week.